You're watching the 4 o'clock news on News Channel 4, the news leader.
Hello, friends. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, November 24th. I'm Lance West. And we begin at 4 with a big shakeup at an Edmond shopping center sparking the rumor mill today. Talking about the Bryant Square Shopping Center near 2nd and Bryant. Empty storefronts, once places that held like House Vacuums, Radio Shack, and Hallmark, operating there for years. News Channel 4's Shelley Mills went to find out what's behind the closing stores. And Shelley, rumors are flying that they may be making way for a Costco. What'd you find out?
Well, Lance, you can talk to any store in this center. We did, and a lot of them will tell you that that is in fact the rumor. Whether it's true, well, that's still unknown. But what we do know is that one by one, many of these stores are closing, and for a lot of them, it's not their choice.
And then it's got the pads just Velcro walking on.
It's been a busy few months for Bob March at the House of Vacuums in Edmond. This store now open at 15th and Santa Fe just weeks after a forced move.
We didn't have a lot of time to tell our customers because, like I said, we've been over there since 1978.
The business spent more than 30 years in this shopping center at 2nd and Bryant.
They just said, we're not going to renew your lease, and that was end of communication. Nothing after that except for here's where to mail the key. And that was sent in an email.
Given just 10 weeks to find a new home, they aren't the only ones. Daylight Donuts, a dance studio, and several others will soon be making their way to new locations. The question everyone wants answered is, what are the owners making room for?
We've heard Costco.
And he's not the only one. While they wouldn't go on camera, one shop after another says they too have heard a Costco could be on the horizon. Zio's and Ulta are also possibilities.
Oh, we've heard the rumor. We can't confirm anything.
But what the city can confirm is big changes are on the way.
It's a big sea of parking in that center right now. So part of the plan is to bring back some landscaping and add that because they want to change the ambiance in the center.
The city says several of the buildings in the parking lot will be demolished, other spaces remodeled. For Bob March, it was an unplanned transition, but one he says has worked out pretty well for his company.
This area has been really good for us.
We tried to contact the property owner to see if there's any merit to this rumor. However, they have not responded to our request for information so far. We also contacted Costco. They tell us that they don't comment on specific locations. However, we do know that it is confirmed that a Costco will be coming to the Tulsa area. Lance, back to you.
All right, Shelley, a lot of rumors out there. Thank you. Hey, if you live on the Metro's north side and are waiting on a loved one to get home, you know what? Could be a little while. Take a look at the scene from Bob Moore Chopper 4 along I-35 between 2nd and Danforth near Edmond. A crash between a semi and a car backing up traffic there, as you can see, for miles. Anyone traveling north on I-35, the crash has been cleared to the side of the road and crews have reopened all lanes. We're told, though, traffic is moving at a snail's pace right now. Might be an area to avoid for a little while. And drivers are being asked to avoid this area near Northwest 164th and Portland. We've been telling you about this trouble spot for the past week. Traffic congested due to the construction project out there. Well, things are about to get even slower. The intersection of Northwest 164th and Portland is now a four-way stop after a truck took out a power pole and traffic lights. You can see the pole snapped in two, laying on the ground. Crews are working to get things repaired and the lights back up and working just as soon as possible. And confirmation today on a plea deal in the works for a man accused of causing the crash that killed our friend Bob Berry Jr. As you know, our colleague Bobby died this past June after a car made an illegal U-turn in front of him. Behind the wheel of that car, Gustavo Gutierrez, he faces several charges, including causing an accident without a valid driver's license. As we first reported back in September, Gutierrez is expected to take a plea agreement right after the holidays. That hearing is scheduled for January. We will continue to follow that, of course. And special delivery lands a Yukon man in jail, according to Canadian County deputies. William Garby ordered high-grade marijuana from California, and you know what? He had it delivered to his own home. The postal inspector tipped off authorities that they were in possession of a package containing the pot. Evidently, the package stood out because it had a strong odor of marijuana. Deputies arranged for the high-dollar pot to be delivered. It is estimated to have a street value of more than $100,000. Investigators believe Garby is actually the middleman for a larger illegal drug ring. He was booked into jail on possession with intent to distribute. Oklahoma authorities are now working with folks in California to shut down that drug ring. And listen up, if you're one of the millions of Americans hitting the highways and the skies this holiday season, could be rough. We've got the good news and the bad news for those filling the skyways and highways this year. Take a look.
Too expensive to fly, and you can't take the dog.
You want to go for a walk? So Kate Works and Guinness are hitting the roadways for the busiest travel week of the year.
46.9 million holiday travelers this Thanksgiving. That's the most since 2007.
And prices at the pump are giving those travelers a lot to be thankful for.
We've got 3 little kids, and there's a lot of back and forth and child seats and all the stuff with that. I suppose gas prices at $1.99 a gallon, and when we left Wisconsin this morning helps a little bit too.
Air travelers are also getting some help this holiday season, with ticket prices down 9% from last year, according to Orbitz.
I'm picking up my daughter.
But with a new worldwide travel alert from the State Department, many are uneasy.
Yeah, it really scares me. And I worry about her coming home right now.
But others believe the extra security and longer lines at airports are worth it.
I'm just trying to get home for the holidays, so I'm focusing on that.
Focusing on a safe holiday travel season. Wendy Woolfolk, NBC News, Chicago.
Thank you, Wendy. And the bottom line, with longer airport security lines and potential rough weather across the country, make sure to give yourself plenty of extra time to get where you're going and to get there safely.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm Team.
And our sunshine of earlier today has given way to low gray cloud cover. Changes now moving into Oklahoma, and it looks completely different outside right now compared to what it did just a couple of short hours ago. Temperatures outside are in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and it's a windy day. Winds are gusting from the south at about 30 miles per hour. Here's that deck of low gray cloud cover, as promised, came in during the afternoon hours. It is lifting to the north. That is moisture from the Gulf of Mexico that is arriving. And I tell you, here comes this major system out to the west. It is large and it is in charge. This will be a significant weather system for us that'll last over 3 days in time. First really impacting us on Thanksgiving Day across a large part of Oklahoma. There are winter storm watches, warnings, travelers advisories in advance of that weather system, and it will be rolling out into the plains for Thanksgiving through Bedlam weekend, and it's going to affect everybody in our state. So Lance, there's a lot to talk about coming up in weather, including heavy rainfall, a flooding potential, thunderstorms for Thanksgiving, who will see ice, sleet, and snow in our state, and winter storm potential for some Oklahomans. It's still there. That 4-1 forecast in 10 minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you. Time for a check of other stories making national headlines. The big guy, Kevin Ogle in our Sky Center with more on that. Hey, Kev.
Thank you, my friend. Many of us woke up to startling news this morning. Turkey shot down a Russian fighter jet along the Syrian border. Now, the government claims the jet violated Turkish airspace and was warned 10 times over 5 minutes before it was shot down right there. A claim Russia's defense ministry disputes, saying the plane's instruments confirm the fighter was actually inside Syria. It's believed 2 pilots ejected. You saw a parachute right there, bailing out before the plane impacted. Helicopters could be seen searching for the pilots. At last check, they have not yet been found. Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling the incident a stab in the back. President Obama standing by Turkey, a NATO ally of the U.S., saying that country has a right to defend its territory. Now to Belgium, where the hunt for terror suspects widens as French authorities identify yet another wanted man. He's been identified as Mohamed Abrini. Photographs show him driving a car used in the deadly attacks. Inside the car, another wanted suspect, Salah Absalam. He's the man who has been the focus of a massive manhunt that has shut down the capital of Belgium. He remains on the run. So far, no concrete evidence of where either man is hiding. Hey, if you're traveling this holiday season, you might run into an added level of security in the form of our four-legged friends. TSA passenger screening canines are starting work this week in airports across the country. Administration officials say the timing of the canines is really just coincidental and is not due to anything going on specifically in the world, like the attacks in Paris or downed Russian airliners. The program actually has been in the works for years. The Passenger Screening Canine Initiative started as a pilot program about 4 years ago. It's been so successful, it's now permanent. Of the 5 dogs starting this week in Philadelphia, 1 served in Afghanistan. Another was named in honor of a firefighter who died on 9/11. That's all from the Sky Center. Lance, back to you.
Kevin, thank you very much. The Great Migration and leveling the playing field. Just a couple of stories hot on the web. But first, a popular Ohio donut shop wants customers to know it is not politically correct The bakery has signs posted, says, "We say Merry Christmas, God bless America, and we salute the flag." The sign goes on to give thanks to troops, police officers, and firefighters. The shop's owner says it is not a marketing ploy.
These are my views. They are certainly not telling other people that they can't have different views. This was done out of love.
Well, Schuler says most reaction has been positive, but not all. Some folks suggesting he stick to just selling donuts. And leveling the playing field more than 2 weeks after the Donald appeared on SNL, NBC is granting some GOP presidential candidates like Ohio Governor John Kasich, along with Mike Huckabee and Jim Gilmore and Senator Lindsey Graham, equal time on the network. 12 minutes of free ads to run in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. That's the amount of face time NBC says Trump had on Saturday Night Live. And it's not only birds that head south for the winter. Apparently, check this out from the air. Looks like brown diamonds floating in the water. Those are actually thousands of cow-nose rays migrating. As you can see from this view under the water, the rays gather in very large schools. The shape of the cow-nose ray snout is one way you can tell it apart from their cousin, the stingray. And now Heather Holman with what else is trending today. We're talking about status change. Heather?
Breaking up is hard to do, but social media giant Facebook wants to make it a little bit easier for its users. You can hide, unfriend, or block the person, but even so, it's often challenging to make a clean break from your ex on social media. Until now. Who could have imagined this problem 10 years ago? Well, to keep up with modern day problems, Facebook is testing new tools that will pop up when you change your relationship status. The tools restrict how much you see of your ex and how much your ex sees of you on Facebook. You can also restrict access to posts of the two of you together before you lost that loving feeling. These tools are already available on Facebook Mobile. Facebook says with these tools, it will help people end relationships with greater ease, comfort, and sense of control. Back to you.
Heather, thank you very much. And still to come here on News Channel 4. If you're making lists, you want to check it twice. Not all deals are as good as they seem. The 4 things not to buy on Black Friday. And a warning, the deadly Latin American disease making its way here to Oklahoma. We'll let you know if you've been exposed. Plus life-saving medication, the pill that helps prevent HIV. The details straight ahead.
Hey, it's a great time of year for football here in Oklahoma. Bedlam coming up this weekend, but on the NFL level, bad behavior making the headlines right now. Johnny Manziel in trouble again after video of him surfaced partying with alcohol. His past has involved rehab, and former Sooner star Frank Alexander suspended for a year after violating the NFL drug policy for the 3rd time. Of course, they're not the only ones, just the most recent. What do you make of all these violations? Log on or call us.
Welcome back, friends. On today's Consumer Alert, the 4 things you should never purchase on Black Friday. If you're making a list, you'll want to check it twice. Not everything is as good as it seems. According to Adobe, avoid snagging up electronics. The best time to get a deal on those items is actually Thanksgiving Day. Next up, mark toys off your list. Wait until the weekend or until Cyber Monday, which traditionally has the cheapest toy prices. And if you're thinking about something sparkly for Christmas, you might want to head out on Thanksgiving. You see, discounts on jewelry can save you 25% or more. And lastly, avoid buying clothes. To get the best deals, wait until December. Traditionally, December 23rd may have the best prices for you. And keep this in mind, most shoppers are out searching for the same things you are, so if you don't get them early, you may not be able to find them out there at all.
Now, here's Oklahoma's leading meteorologist, the Forewarned Storm Team's Mike Morgan.
Well, our weather outside certainly very interesting. We've got a deck of low-grade cloud cover that has moved into Oklahoma this afternoon, and we're talking about temperatures which are still on the mild side, but the wind is up today, and it looks like the humidity is arriving to provide moisture for some showers, some drizzle, and eventually some thunderstorms, and then some wintry precipitation for a large part of the state. Look at the cloud cover here. This is going to be sticking around for a while. It's going to be a gray stretch of weather. Well, skies are cloudy here in Oklahoma City. Our temperature 59 degrees currently, and the winds are southerly at 14, gusting to 22 miles per hour. Our daytime high has been 62 degrees today, and 42 was our morning low. There's so much to talk about this afternoon. Right now, it's just that deck of low-gray cloud cover. Now, off in the distance here, you can actually see clearing just to the west of El Reno and Kingfisher. So not everybody's cloudy. It's still sunny in western Oklahoma. Temperatures, as you see here, are a mix of upper 50s and very low 60s. And we're in the middle 60s out in our panhandle. Western Oklahoma is still mostly sunny, but gradually cloud cover like we have here in Oklahoma City is going to overtake the entire state as this moisture comes up from the Gulf of Mexico. You can see it right here. It's lifting northward, and that'll just get deeper and thicker in terms of the grayness over the next several days. And here comes this major system. This system coming in from the west coast has a lot going for it in many different ways. Heavy rainfall, some potential for some flooding in flood-prone areas, largely because the leaves are blocking things like drains and such. So that might be something you might want to consider around your house as this system approaches Oklahoma, because we will likely get a November month's worth of rain totals in a day. And that'll be Thanksgiving Day across a large part of the state. Look at the spin here, the counterclockwise spin, now tumbling southward into northern California. And there are winter storm watches to winter storm warnings, travelers advisories. Everybody out here to the west is going to get a full plate of a lot of weather. Now here in Oklahoma, it'll get here too. It's going to be that low gray cloud cover tonight. You know, and there may be a little drizzle around, some light moisture developing overnight tonight. You see just a little smattering here of a little bit of light green. That'll be lifting to the north. 55 will be our low. Tomorrow, a cloudy day for Wednesday, and temperatures will be pretty mild for this time of year, 62, but again, it will be a gray, windy day, so because of the wind, it really won't feel as mild as 62 degrees outside. Now, let's jump into Thanksgiving here and beyond, Friday and Saturday. Look at these showers and thunderstorms on Thanksgiving morning develop. And these will have thunder and lightning and heavy downpours of rain with them. Then here comes the cold front right here. This has a mixture of Canadian and a little Arctic air with it. Now, the most important thing in terms of any ice, sleet, or snow for Oklahoma is how much Arctic air mixes in, which is colder than the Canadian air. This cold front will have a 25 to 30 degree temperature drop with it. It'll be approaching Oklahoma City by late Thanksgiving afternoon. Coming through here Thanksgiving evening, and then look at this. As we head toward Friday morning at sunrise, the precipitation here goes to freezing rain, sleet, and snow. You see it right here just to the west of Oklahoma City, and our temperature will be very close to 32 degrees by Friday morning. Meanwhile, heavy rain continues to the south and east. Friday afternoon, temperatures will just flatline. They won't go anywhere. They'll be hovering just a degree or two above freezing here in Oklahoma City. 54 by the 10 o'clock news tonight. Overnight, some drizzle, a few showers develop. 40 in Woodward, 55 tonight here in Oklahoma City. And for tomorrow, cloudy, windy, cool to mild, depending on your point of view. Drizzle showers, central and eastern Oklahoma, upper 50s to mid 60s. Thanksgiving, a 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms with heavy rainfall. That ice line comes just to the west of Oklahoma City Thanksgiving night. Friday morning, in other words, Friday afternoon, 35. That'll be our high temperature. A look at Bedlam weekend. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Drizzle late tonight and tomorrow, still mild, 62, then a 100% chance of rain on Thanksgiving. Heavy rainfall likely. Then we get cold, 33 Friday morning, Friday's high 35. There could be a little light morning ice, Lance. We'll take a look at that and the Bedlam forecast in 10 minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you. AIDS prevention topping today's health check. The CDC wants to get the word out about a daily pill that can help prevent HIV infections. They want to let doctors know to counsel high-risk patients on the medication referred to as PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis. The drug has been shown to reduce the risk of HIV by 90%. And the CDC is warning Americans a deadly Latin American disease is making its way here into the southern part of the U.S., including Oklahoma. It's called the kissing bug, and it's not as cute as it sounds. The bug carries a parasite that causes something called Chagas disease. That disease infects about 300,000 people in the lower half of the U.S., but it's important to note most of the people living with that disease were infected while in Central or South America. Doctors say the kissing bug is a silent killer. It's fatal if not treated, and symptoms include pain in the gut or swelling where the bug bit that person. Experts say a person can go as long as 20 years before that parasite finally takes its toll. If you find a kissing bug, don't squash it. Try to capture it and take it to the health department instead. Keep it here. More to come right after this. You know, a lot of parents are downright shocked at what their kids come across on social media.
But one mother's story, this one takes the cake. Listen. And as a parent, you may not even know that your kid has a Facebook account.
A mother discovers an outrageous online proposal from a meth dealer to her 12-year-old daughter. Plus, infertility is a tricky issue for couples, and many say family gatherings can bring painful, awkward questions. A therapist shares the things you should and shouldn't say to young couples.